Awesome. I'm super excited. Good morning, everybody. My name is Kayla Ruetten, and I have been in this business for about 5.5 years. And I have been growing my family while growing my business for the past few years. And I have four little ones at home. They are 7, 5, 3, and 1. And I homeschool the older two. So the 7-year-old and 5-year-old. And then having a 5 and 3-year-old really keeps me busy while homeschooling the older ones and trying to do this business. And for perspective, I have been a 6-figure earner in my business. I do it all online for the past 4 years. And I have definitely learned some things the hard way and really plugged into mentors and coaches and people who are mothers and entrepreneurs at the same time to help me be successful. And so that is what I'm going to be sharing with you today. Some systems that I have both in my business and in my family life that help me be successful with young kids. Now, some of my strategies with young kids might be a little bit different, having a busy box versus, maybe you're a chauffeur for your older kids, which Katie can talk about coming up here as that's her season, but the same concepts apply. And if you are not a mother and you're on your call, maybe you have a full-time job that requires a lot of your attention, really robust hobbies. We are all busy women, no matter what season and what stage of our life we are in. So these strategies can be applied for everyone. So the first thing that I'm going to encourage you to do today, step one, is write down a list of things. And we might not have time to do this live on this call, but write down a list of things that you have to do or that you typically do every day, every week, and every month. If you take a few days and just write stuff down as you do it, that's what I ended up doing. But likely by the end of the week, you will see a list as tall as yourself of all of the things, that we do as busy women. And after you make your list, I want you to take a look at that and put an H next to anything that you have to do. Like you personally, uniquely, you have to do. You have to brush your own teeth, right? You have to be the one to be present for your children, whatever stage they're in. So that doesn't mean being omnipresent. It means, you might decide like you're the one to tuck them in at night. You're the one to do whatever. You have to go to your full-time job. You have to do your basic, hygiene routine. After you get through all of the things you have to do, mark an S next to the things that you feel like you should be doing. And that's where we're actually going to be spending some time this morning, that list of things that we should be doing. So that you might feel like you should be driving your kid to go do their extracurricular activities, or you should be the one making all the meals for your family. But driving a child somewhere or making meals, those don't require uniquely you to do that, right? We have food ordering services. We have husbands that can help with those kinds of tasks. We have other mom friends. So you get where I'm kind of leading into with that. We're going to spend some time on the should list. And then just mark a check mark next to things that you see on your list that you hate, that you just feel like you want to stop doing. And you've needed permission from somebody to stop doing. So that might be, volunteering at something that you kind of got roped into at some point way back when, and you don't enjoy doing that anymore. It might be cutting your grass, something that you feel like you do not like doing, but that you continue to do because you feel it makes somebody happy or it contributes in some way. And we're going to take a look at that list and circle back to that, because this exercise is probably going to take you, a few days or a week to really write down everything that you do in a day. So after we make the list of things that we have to do, things that we should do, and things that we want to stop doing, take a look at that list and ask yourself, what on this list I completely delete? And what on this list can I perhaps delegate to somebody else? So Delegating might look like asking your husband for help doing some things. It might be having a mom friend that you share rides with, or you share child swaps with. It might be somebody you meet at the park. So your kids can run wild. The other mom can help watch your kids while you work at the picnic table. So those are some things that you can delegate that don't require uniquely you to be 100% watching your kids or 100% driving your kids, that sort of thing. We're going to get to business here in just a minute, too, ladies. So after you take a list, look at the things that you absolutely have to do and create a schedule. I'll show you mine. This is a scratch one, but I actually redo this every quarter because we have a change in season, a new baby. Every other year we have, my husband works in construction, and his management for that schedule is seasonal. So we have a lot of different things going with different seasons. Some of you on here may be like an accountant and you have tax season. That will look a little bit. So write down Sunday through Saturday. And just up here, I have a list of all of the things that I need to get done for my business. You could make another list of all the things that you need to get done for your household and family. And then what I want you to do is write down on each day when you are in charge of those tasks. Ladies, this might be an exercise or a training call that you're going to have to listen to a few times to make sure you get all of this, because we only have a few minutes here today and I want to just give you the nuts and bolts of all of it. But I like doing blocks. So when you wake up with a fever or something's happening with your family, all those things that come up, you can easily shift your morning block to your night block when your husband comes home. You can easily shift your homeschooling block when the sick baby is napping. You can move things around in your schedule for those things that are not time specific. Obviously, if you have to work your regular job, or if you have meetings at a certain time, you want to mark those in where they have to go, and then fit the other things that can be flexible around that. You can do batch cooking, at a different time of day. That's not time, sensitive. So then once you write down all the things you have to do for your family, all the things you have to do for your regular work schedule, a lot of us are building this business on the side. Go ahead and mark every day that you can do business hours. For me, it looks really funny because we have 4 littles at home. We homeschool. We're in a season where my husband has a really crazy work schedule. But a little bit each day definitely adds up to big results. So I often, a few days a week, I work from 6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. and then again for 1 hour in the evening. I have a babysitter come once a week for 3 hours. So that's when I really focus on my bigger business projects. So write down every day of the week. It might be 30 minutes on your lunch hour. Find some of the cracks in your schedule that you can work in your business. All right, is everybody following still? For those of you watching this live, let me know if you have questions. I will get to them. After you schedule in what your business block is, write down every day of the week what exactly you are going to be doing in your business at that time. So for me, it's like on Sunday evenings, I do my content creation. So anything I'm going to be putting in my customer groups, posts that I'm going to be putting on my personal profile, it might be scheduling posts into certain groups. On Mondays from 5:30 to 8 p.m. is when I make my reels. I will make 10 or 15 of those at a time and just leave them in my drafts. I have a different day of the week that I'll go back, and edit those. On Tuesdays, I'm working on customer follow-up and customer acquisition. I also have some leadership calls in there that I do. On Wednesdays, I have no office hours. I just cannot fit it in with our family schedule, so I don't. Thursday, I do a coaching call and a call with our executive team. And I use my 30 minutes after that to respond to all my messages and comments that I need to catch up on for the week. I also use 30 minutes of that time to do stuff like this. If there's something I want to get better at, I will do personal development during that time and then implement it. So for example, today you are taking time right now to do this. Actually write yourself in your calendar when you're going to implement these tools that you're learning today. So when today are you going to write out your calendar, or when this week are you going to be writing out your calendar to help you be successful? On Fridays, I edit my reels, I make more of them, and I prepare content for training that I do. So that's kind of what my business schedule looks like. I know that if somebody has a fever, I can move things around. But I will also write in here, ladies, when I'm going to do my home systems. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. I batch cook every weekend. So how many of you here feel like you are overwhelmed and you feel like you just can't get it all done in one day? Eating healthy meals, making sure your kids are well cared for, getting your business hours in, getting, a walk in or some sort of health thing for yourself. It feels crazy because we have so much going on. A lot of us are full-time moms, full-time workers during the day. I'm seeing a ton of me's, yes, 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 in the comments. So the secret to getting it all done is that you don't do everything all in one day. So I do not cook every day of the week. And we eat all of our meals from scratch because we're an allergy family. Going to McDonald's is just not an option for us. So we just figure out to do batch cooking on the weekends. And then one day a week, I will like mass chop all of our vegetables and fruits, smoothies, whatever we're going to do for the week. And the rest of the time is literally like pulling those things that we batched out of the fridge or freezer, rewarming them, making, a side salad, like all the salad's already chopped, all the meat is already chopped. So you can just quickly throw it all together. So be writing down in your calendar, and yes, I will post a photo of my calendar, but be writing down what you're doing in your home system days. So every day I have a block of time that I do homeschooling. Every day I have a block of time where I do either cooking or cleaning routine, or we have like a co-op with our kids that we do, those sorts of things. And I stick to my calendar. If I have to flop a day around, it's okay because it's block scheduled, but all of the things get done in 1 week that need to get done. If you are working from your home office, like most of us listening to this probably are, I tell my children, I am at work now. If you have any questions, you have to ask daddy, you have to ask the babysitter, whoever's in charge at that time. I am working right now. I know a good friend of mine, she puts a hat on and she calls it her trench hat. She has teenagers and she tells her kids when she's wearing her trench hat, like, do not come to my office, I'm on a meeting or whatever it is. I have a lot of content to make, and they just learn, when she's wearing a trench hat, it's a busy day in her business. So I hope that helps. Block schedule, write down in your schedule when you're going to be doing your business. Within writing what you're doing for your business, write exactly what you're going to be doing for your business on those days. The third one is to write down your home systems. And you know your home systems better than I do, but for us, it's like a batch cooking day, it's an errands, an appointment day, a cleaning day. Like I fold all my laundry on one day of the week, and it's crazy. It's like 8 loads. We have 4 toddlers. And then within your home systems, write down what you're going to be doing at that time. How are we doing on our list of shoulds, stops, have tos? How did that make you feel, writing down a little bit of that, getting started? Did you feel a little bit of resentment? Or did you feel a little bit of like, oh my gosh, I'm doing too much. How am I going to fit in adding a business? How am I going to fit in growing my family? How am I going to fit in healthy eating? Does anybody feel like that? So what I want you to look at is on that list, where do you have opportunities to outsource? So maybe it's like you do grocery drop off or grocery pickup. Are you chauffeuring your kids everywhere? Is there another mom that you can do Tuesdays and she can do Wednesdays? Is there something that you can talk with your husband about? If you are married and you have children, or it's just you and your spouse, one thing that has really helped me, and my husband and I do this quarterly, he has a calendar just like this. We write down his schedule in here too. He also has a side business that he is growing right now too. And so we write down every quarter, we go back through and readjust what our schedule needs to look like. It's required ongoing communication and ongoing journey, and that's just a place in your life that you need to get comfortable having those conversations with your husband, telling him what you need, showing him the list of things you do, everything on your plate, asking, is there anything on this list that you can take over, or is there something that we should budget for having somebody else do, such as a cleaning lady. I hope that's helpful. I'm going to check the chat for questions and comments. Anybody feel free to unmute if you have any questions that you wanted to share. Yes, I will post a picture of my calendar. And a huge fan of cleaning ladies. Yes. Do you cap a certain activity time, like cutting off leisure at 30 minutes or only having one meal prep for an hour? And what do you do when you aren't able to complete the task within the amount of time? So, Lucy, I feel like as you continue practicing and continue doing this exercise, you will start to kind of figure out how long everything takes you. So for me, like my schedule has evolved a lot. The first month I did this, I did feel like, oh, I definitely didn't leave enough time for that, or I didn't leave enough time for all the tantrums or meltdowns, that we might have in a day. So give yourself some space to do what you need to do, and take some things off your schedule. If you're really feeling the burn, like you don't have enough time for leisure, or you're not able to prep your healthy meals that you need that help you show up as your best self in your business and in your family life, then take some of those commitments off your calendar, even if it's just for a season. But to answer your question, yes, I do cap time. So in the beginning, I'm trying to think back, like, it might take you a longer time to learn how to do reels, for example, if you're just getting started with that, or if you're just getting started with home cooking, that will probably take you longer than you realize. So maybe you schedule 2 days a week to do those sorts of things. And then eventually, as you get good at them and master them, your kids get when you're older, things become a little bit easier. You can evolve that to shorter time. I hope that helps. Let me know.